You are born in absolute darkness. Not the kind you experience when the sun sets, not the shadows behind a rock or beneath a wave, but a crushing, endless black where light has never touched. No sun has ever reached here. No eye from above has ever opened to this depth. You don't know any of this. You don't even know what it means to know. You are a pulse wrapped in gelatin, an instinct suspended in a drifting egg sac the size of a marble. You weren't placed here. You weren't protected. Your mother released you and thousands of others, drifting midwater, unguarded, unsheltered, unknown. You've never seen her. You never will. The egg sac loosens quietly. There is no shiver, just a soft release. Your body slides out, mantle first, arms trailing, soft skin brushing the fluid you were made inside. No scream, no breath, no shock of air, only water, cold, dense, still. Your siphon pulses. A jet of water escapes, moving you forward slightly. The first motion of your own power. You will not stop, not by choice, but by design. Others hatch around you. You don't recognize them. No memory, no attachment, only motion. Something brushes past, soft, same size. You don't react, you drift. The water shifts, the cold softens. Light appears, just a shimmer, like diluted smoke. Your pupils contract. You can see, barely, shapes, dozens. Others like you, some whole, some damaged. Then a shadow, fast, long. It glides, it opens its mouth. 3 vanish. You pulse downward. The dark welcomes you. You don't feel fear, just instinct. Arms float loosely, tentacles undeveloped. You hover. Time passes. Then a shift in pressure. Something massive drifts above. A whale, not hunting, just passing. You still. Your body quiets. Then it's gone. You rise again. Your body calls for something. You drift toward the blinking specks. Lantern plankton. You stretch weakly, catch one, then another. You draw them in. There is no joy, only pressure relieved. You continue until night returns. The specks scatter. You sink. Then pain. A sting. A jellyfish. Filaments wrap your skin. You jerk. Pulse. Release ink. It buys you space. You flee. You drift again. Silent. Hurting. Curled. The burn fades. But you remember it. Not the creature, just the way it moved. You're 2 years old now. You've grown. Your arms are longer, stronger. The hooks along your tentacles have begun to sharpen. Not just suction, grip. Not just wrap, pierce. Your body is 5 times its birth size. Still soft, still flexible, but no longer helpless. You don't drift anymore. You move, slowly, on purpose. You've learned the geometry of your own form, how to shift your mantle to steer, how to pulse without flaring your arms, how to descend in silence. You've learned to feed, efficiently. Plankton aren't enough now. You require more. You need flesh. At night, you rise toward shallower waters where the small and the slow come. Shrimp, juvenile fish, even smaller squid. You don't chase, you wait, then strike. It happens fast. Your feeding tentacles snap forward, hidden until the moment they spring. 2 lines, 2 hooks. They grab, they pull. The prey doesn't scream. Nothing here breathes air, but you feel the tremble. Your beak opens. It clamps. You twist. Soft tissue gives way. Dark fluid drifts into the water. The body stills. You consume. This repeats. Not often, not daily. Your energy burns slowly, but when you strike, you don't miss. Then, one night, something shifts. A pressure ahead. Massive. Not glowing, not darting, gliding, quiet, deliberate. You stop moving. The water thickens, not visibly, but sensorially. You shrink inward, then see it. Not like you, not like fish. It moves with purpose. A wide, flat tail, a jaw lined with teeth, then nothing. A sperm whale. Your instincts ignite. You fold in. Your siphon blasts downward. You escape, but it doesn't chase yet. It turns, aligns, not desperate, just closer. It pulses once, and it comes. You veer hard, left, down. Ink bursts, thick, dense, a black curtain. It follows. Its sonar scans you. Not noise, not pain. Presence. You feel yourself measured. You dive deeper, a cold layer, denser. You drop through. The pressure shifts. The whale pauses, then surges. It doesn't bite your head. It brushes your mantle. Teeth rake across your 4th right arm. No warning, just pain. The arm comes off. Clean, irreversible. You spiral. The sea spins. A trail behind you. You descend wildly. The whale does not follow. You flee for hours, not from pursuit, but from fear you don't know how to extinguish. Eventually, 1,200 meters down, you stop. Missing an arm, but alive. Weeks pass. Your body adapts. The wound closes. Balance returns. Altered, but functional. The arm never returns. You resume hunting, cautiously. No sudden moves. No questionable currents. You don't see another squid. Not for days. Not for months. Not for years. So you stop looking. Instead, you follow the current. You begin to migrate. Not toward, but along. Cold, deep-water rivers flow across the ocean floor. You learn them. Their curves. Their silence. Your body remembers. At 6, your reach extends. You strike cleanly. One night, in glowing water, you see something familiar. Another squid. Your size. Your motion. You draw closer. It does not flee. You circle. You wrap. You mate. There is no sound, only alignment. Then you part. You don't follow. But something has changed. You are not alone. At 8, you move with calm. Then, a shape. Not a whale. It hums. Metal. It vanishes. You retreat deeper. Machines do not swim. You are 10. One arm gone. You drift. You pulse. You wait. At 11, your strength deepens. You strike without effort. Your entire body is an ambush. You no longer feed for sensation. You feed to continue. You see shipwrecks, whales asleep like islands. Nothing touches you. Then, something glowing, smooth, reflective, mechanical, a probe. It scans you, not sound. Precision. You sink. You hide. You are not chased, but you have been seen. You go deeper. You stop counting years. You no longer strike for pleasure, only necessity. Tentacle, wrap, pull, repeat. Sometimes a pulse, faint, uneven, alive. Another squid. You drift beside it. It mirrors, then turns. You follow, then lose it. But something inside you has shifted. You know, you are not the last. At 40, a parasite blinds one eye. At 50, you stop hunting often. At 60, both eyes dim. You rely on pressure, vibration, current. You stop rising. You wait for food, or you go without. At 100, you do not feel age. You feel nothing. You pulse. You drift. Until one day, the water changes. Not warm, not alive. A cable. It touches you, loops, pulls. You fire ink. It doesn't help. The water thins. Then light. Real, hot light. You thrash. One arm curls and stays. Then air. Noise. Hands. A cage. You are pulled onto metal. You are heavy. Your skin cracks. You don't understand. Faces lean in. They measure. Photograph. Catalog. You do not resist. You cannot. They give you a name. Architeuthis ducks. The ruling squid. They slice you, preserve you, display you. Your beak open. Your arms arranged. Your eyes forward. But they see nothing. People walk by. They stare. They wonder. But they do not know. They do not hear what silence taught you. You become a label, a legend, a lesson. You were once ruler of a sea no one else knew. Now you are a ruler without a sea. Your ink is gone. Your arms still. Your siphon silent. Your journey ends where no squid belongs. On land, under lights, named by strangers. But even now, behind glass, in cold air, in complete stillness, you are still teaching, still warning, still waiting. Even now, behind the glass, you wait. Not just as a display, but as a presence. The hum of the room is different near you. Children walk past, some laugh, some stare, some look into your eye and feel it. A silence so ancient, it hums beneath thought. They call you alien, but they never understood. You were never from somewhere else. You are from here, deeper than they have ever gone. The rulers of the shallow think silence is emptiness, but you know better. Silence holds memory. Silence holds motion. Silence holds life. If they listened closely, past the buzz of fluorescence and the scuff of sneakers, they might hear it. The faint pulse that once moved the ocean, the rhythm of arms trailing through eternal night, the decision to drift, to wrap, to vanish. They will never know your language, but they have given you a name, a case, and a plaque. They write stories about you, film videos, build animations, but none of them know how it felt. To wait for motion, to freeze when sonar touches your spine, to feel a tentacle sting and remember its movement a decade later. You are not angry. You cannot be. But somewhere in the coils of your story, between the loops of muscle and the echoes of your final dive, a question still floats. One you never had the voice to ask. Was I ever seen, truly seen, before they lifted me from the water? You ruled the dark, but only in silence. Now you are beneath lights, immobile, exposed, and above all, finished. And yet, one last instinct remains, the same one that made you pulse upward when lantern plankton first flickered, the same one that pulled you to another squid in the current, the same one that told you when to flee, when to feed, when to fold inward. That instinct whispers now, not with urgency, but with gravity. This is not the end, for memory lives wherever it is carried, and you, silent and still behind your casing, are still being carried. Through stories, through questions, through the way a child stares longer than their parents expect. You once drifted alone through oceans of black. Now you drift through oceans of meaning, quiet, vast,